Good evening, Official Balance League. Welcome back to Week 4 of Division 3B between Team Roccet Academy and VenomFive. I'm going to be your play-by-play caster for today, Ma, and I am supposed to be joined by a color caster, and for some reason he has not joined the call. So I will be here just for now, and we shall wait. Going into picks and bans, it's going to be Team Roccet Academy on the blue side. In terms of just general contest for this game, it is a top 2 clash. We have got Team Roccet Academy being 3-0 right now, sitting at the top of the standings, and VenomFive only played 2 games but have won both of them. So very important clash here, especially when you come into playoffs and playoff seedings. So very interesting, and we're going to start off with Senna and Kled coming off for Team Roccet Academy, as well as Shen on the right-hand side, and I believe he has arrived. Hello!
I'm sorry, I stayed in the other channel, forgot to move.
It's all good, it's all good. Would you like to do very quickly?
Yeah, my name's Ace, and this is going to be my first cast with VL today. I'm looking forward to it. It looks like an exciting match. I've talked a little bit to Ma. I feel like we've got a little bit of synergy going, don't you think?
Well, as soon as we've started talking, I think it's going pretty well, so it can only go downhill from here, I believe. So be able to see what happens here. And we get a first pick, Viego. Very powerful pick in the current meta.
Definitely very powerful. And also when I was by myself, I was saying the Senna ban is probably to break up the Senna Tam Kench, which has been disgusting. Have you played against it yet?
I haven't actually. I don't play much of League these days, but I do keep up to date, and I try to watch as much League as I possibly can to keep up with my knowledge, so I can understand that. And we are going to be getting. Oh, there's a bit of a tease about the Xin Xiao. I think Xin Xiao would be a very good pick here, mind, because he is a very strong pick in the meta right now, as well as the Viego, and we're probably one of the only junglers who can contest Viego. So, but they're gonna hold off on it for now and go for Morgana Caitlyn.
The Viego can also be flexed into the top and mid position. Despite the nerfs, a lot of players still haven't realized that it's probably best not to take him into solo lane. You know, it takes players a couple of weeks to catch up with these things.
Yeah, because there was that the recent patch, wasn't there, that basically tried to put Viego into the jungle just a bit more and take him out of that lane. So very interesting to see. Exactly, yeah. So very interested to see what's going to happen and seeing if they actually are going to put that Viego into the jungle or if it is going to go into one of the solo lanes here. But NP Steenson is hovering the Master Yi. I don't quite think that's going to be happening, but we do see the Aphelios as well as a Thresh coming down to go into Kayle Morgana. What do you think about that as a bot lane matchup?
I think Morgana Caitlyn is easier to execute. So I think the advantage, in my opinion, goes to the Morgana Caitlyn. But like, if the Aphelios and Thresh have good synergy and are able to pull off some fancy moves, then they will outscale.
Yes, absolutely. And we're going to be getting a. Okay, so bit of a last, almost seemed like a bit of a last second pick there, but we do end up getting the set coming out. Bit of a, I guess that's probably the blind pick, and the blind pick into the top lane, which in a lot of respect can be very risky because if top lane, of course, gets behind, and especially if you're playing someone who has a little bit of carry potential, then it does become very difficult to actually operate in that lane. So. Bit of a risk, but they are going to be banning Tam Kench. I imagine that's because they will try and get rid of some of the tough matchups that would be for set.
And I don't think just for set. I think Tam Kench is just super strong right now in top lane. I don't really see a losing matchup for him. Maybe like a Vayne top or something, but you don't really want to play a Vayne top in a, like a organized like situation.
You barely want to play in solo queue, if I'm being honest. But like, it's not the best to see in solo queue, let alone in fives. But true. I do agree with that. You don't want to see a Vayne in top lane in competitive / in fives play. Yeah. So, but on the left hand side, both the Diana and the Mordekaiser ban, interesting enough, both AP champions. So I wonder if Roccet Academy are going to try and force them into a more. I was going to say more of an AD scaling side for VenomFive, but they've actually gone with a Dr. Mundo, and I do like a Dr. Mundo pick. I think he's very, very strong right now.
I think he's going to be in the jungle. What do you think?
Yes, I anticipate being in the jungle because they did pick up the set, and I don't think set is really a jungler these days. And there we go. So a Malphite hover. So this is what I was just about to touch on, was the fact that they tried to ban some APs from VenomFive just so they can lock in something with that Malphite. Everyone knows what Malphite does. He builds a crap ton of armor and presses one button. Rest is history, right?
Honestly, I'm not a fan of the Malphite pick. I feel like Set is very good into him. Also, Morgana with the black shield, and Mundo can just ignore his ultimate. Not the biggest fan of it, but maybe it's just I think I have a suspicion it might be a comfort pick.
Could potentially, yeah, and I think it does really confirm that that's going to be Viego in the jungle, as we probably expected, given the recent nerfs into laning phase Viego. NB Steenson does pick up the Corki, so a little bit of hyper carry potential for Roccet Academy, as we do await the final pick for VenomFive. And
I am a big fan of the Corki. I think he is a very underrated champion. You're able to build shield bow and do absurd damage. Oh,
I think I'm going to put it out there.
Set mid.
I think this isn't intentional.
Oh, okay.
And there's actually so they've actually left. Okay, so they've left the lobby. This is going to be somewhat interesting what happens here, because
he didn't have the champion they wanted, I'm guessing. Oh,
it's potential. It depends what happens in terms of. It depends, because it's also on stream. You can't get around it. Lots of people have now seen this. Essentially, just give everyone a quick reminder: if you can't leave champ select, right? You can't just pick a champion and say, no, we meant this, then leave just because you said we want another champion. It has to be for a legitimate reason. Unless, so if there is a genuine client issue, then that's when,
Apparently he bugged, so maybe it was a genuine issue.
Yes.
That happens. We have the spaghetti client from Riot.
Small indie company.
Small indie company. It's a real shame, honestly, like how terrible the client is, considering how much money Riot makes. Like, it's not like they don't have the money to fix the client, and it's such an integral part of the experience. I feel like, honestly, it's one of the unacceptable things about League of Legends at the moment.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And if I was going to say anything about the client itself, I'd probably say it all comes back to when they actually changed it to this new format. I'd say maybe back in. I'm going to sound like one of those preachers to say, "Oh, season 4 was the best season," but genuinely, up until about season 6, the client was genuinely okay and working functionally very well. They changed it, and all of a sudden, you get things like this when all of a sudden you can't see any champions.
The problem also is that it needed an update because it has more features now. It does more, but it does all these things not well.
It has the right intentions. Whether it works or not is a different matter, but it has the right intentions.
Okay, so do we have a referee or something, or are you the referee?
should not make me the referee. I'll come up with some random rules for these people. So it looks like we're just going to go up and we're going to do draft up until the last pick on red side. So it's not going to be it doesn't look like it's going to be in Amumu. We're going to repeat the draft up to then, and we will find out what their pick's going to be.
My mind was going 100 miles an hour. It's like, oh, the Mundo top, Amumu jungle, set mid counter pick, bow, bow, bow.
No, they just didn't pick.
Yeah,
it would. Although I will play devil's advocate here, they did pick the Malphite. Now, having 4 tanks into Malphite sucks. Malphite really sucks into 4 tanks.
Agreed.
So it would have worked, but I don't think. And you could have put the set mid. Set mid used to be a thing, maybe 18 months ago.
It's still not bad.
It's not bad. It's very matchup dependent.
100% agree. It's just like with what the information I had, I was just trying to figure out the best places to put these people.
Well, you go full AP Mumu mid lane. You could do that.
I thought it for a hot minute, but I was like, I feel like these people want to play semi-serious, so.
Well, I say that we do have a 100. I believe it's still 100% win rate. Someone may want to correct me. We do have a 100% win rate Rammus mid lane in VL.
That's spicy.
It's they have just picked the Dr. Mundo. Now, I believe we're supposed to repeat the draft as it was exactly. I don't know if that really affects. and they just picked Shyvana.
I think that's who they wanted to pick.
Okay,
They're
there's the Amumu hover.
I think team is it Rocket or Roccet? What do you think?
Rocket.
Rocket. So
Yeah.
team or Rocket Academy is a little bit cheesed off, I think, at the situation. Not happy about having to remake it, but these things happen. Like technical issues, we have them every day. Especially when my phone doesn't connect to the Wi-Fi and I go mad.
So, what is interesting here is it does genuinely look like it's going to be a set mid lane. So we weren't actually. So I was memeing 5 minutes ago. It's actually going to be set mid lane. Does work. It's into Corki now. Some would argue maybe can be a little bit of a difficult matchup. I would probably say I'm not really too versed into Corki versus Set in mid lane.
I would say
it's a very sort of out there sort of matchup.
I've played a lot of Set and a bit of Corki as well. I would say Set has the advantage early game. They're going to want to get some early ganks off with Shyvana and get the Set ahead. But if the Corki can survive the laning phase, I would say post level 9, I don't see the Set as any threat if he is unable to get any kind of meaningful lead. So what I'm guessing that VenomFive wants to do is that they want to win the 2v2, which is why they picked the Set. So the Corki is definitely weaker in the early 2v2 situation. And I would definitely also give the scaling to the side of Team Rocket Academy.
Yeah, definitely, especially with that Viego as well. So having that Viego Corki combo, yeah, as you mentioned, it's going to be slightly weaker in the early game. But as soon as they both hit maybe even two items, I think Viego's pretty strong at 2 items. But even at the third item power point, especially for Corki, that's when they do become a lot stronger. So very interesting what's going to happen here, and a good amount of damage sort of variance inside as well for Team Rocket Academy, because of course Corki does more magic
Definitely.
damage, so it's not
80%, I believe.
Yeah, precisely. So they're not going to be. It's not going to be a full AD comp, and Mundo is going to be able to build 500 armor and just walk into the enemy team. It's not going to be quite that simple, but that scaling and the high damage output that's now going to be coming out, as well as the backline dive potential through Malphite and Cork, I think is going to be really strong.
Honestly, out of all the champions in Rocket Academy's team, I like the Malphite the least. I am not a fan. I would have much rather preferred an Ornn or maybe even a Shen, but I believe Shen was banned, wasn't he? Yeah, he was banned in first rotation, so they couldn't pick that anyway. And like you were saying, a lot of damage coming from hyper carries such as Corki and Aphelios, and I believe the Aphelios is going to build Kraken Slayer, and they are going to just melt through the Mundo, I believe is their only front line. I also believe that the bot side and the mid lane of VenomFive are both winning lanes. So if the Shyvana can get some early impact on those lanes, that would be extremely good for VenomFive. But then Shyvana isn't really an early ganking jungler, so I feel like there's a little bit of a mismatch there as well. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of VenomFive right here is going to be centered around basically getting bot lane, and the bot lane potential for pushing is going to be really critical because Shyvana does scale off taking dragons. It's a very unique part of Shyvana's kit, right? So having that bot lane pressure to actually start taking dragons is going to be very important, because if Shyvana does get behind, it's going to be very, very difficult. So she's very reliant on getting at least maybe not even ahead, but at least staying even. So I think having that bot lane potential, as well as a Set who, to be honest, may be able to get some form of mid lane priority, depending on how the matchup really plays out. But I think, so he should be able to get that mid lane pressure and actually still control the bot half of the map. And then with Mundo being obviously in the top lane as well, I think it's going to be a bit of a tank sort of noodle slapping fest between Malphite and Dr. Mundo. Can't really imagine there's going to be a lot of action. So I think both teams are going to be really centered around that sort of mid to bot lane area. And I wouldn't be surprised if Team Rocket Academy were even going to give up maybe the first dragon and actually just say, you know what, we know that we don't have as much early game pressure right here. So if it comes to it, we don't mind just giving up just a little bit of an early lead, because we know that in 20 minutes time, if we're still with you by 25 minutes, we have a lot more potential.
Definitely agree. So we're almost down. Countdown 10 seconds.
Yeah, we are currently just ending that spectator delay, when all we have to do is listen to us for 3 minutes and try to at least cope before we get into the game. Thank you very much all for waiting, and we soon will be getting into game.
I'm actually a little bit excited to see the runes, and straight away I see the Dark Harvest on Shyvana, so it's 100% confirmed that's an AP Shyvana. I was 99% on it already, like seeing since like the team has the VenomFive has so much AD damage that it was going to be an AP Shyvana, but Bruiser Shyvana actually has a better win rate than AP Shyvana. So like there was like this little chance that it might have been Bruiser Shyvana. So I didn't want to just straight away be like, yeah, this is an AP Shyvana, and then look like an idiot.
I have to admit, I do miss Bruiser Shyvana top lane. I do miss those good old days.
Those were good days. The
Yeah,
Mundo Shyvana matchup, yeah.
Oh, that's taking it back, isn't
Classic.
it? Oh, is that season 2?
Three,
Yeah.
I think I started playing around season 3-ish, so must be around that time.
I started playing towards the end of season 4, so I missed those good old days. I got 2 months of it, and then I got to season 5 and the map changed.
Okay, so at the moment, I believe that we're going to see a lot of early pressure from VenomFive, and I believe skill-wise, they have a slight edge. So if they can make something happen, they should be able to roll over Team Roccet. But it's all about Roccet to like stand firm and not let them be broken. And it's all about sword and shield. It's like a sword and shield kind of dynamic going on here. Sorry, go on. 28.
Oh, do you want to go back to 10?
Okay. Yeah, sure. Yes, boss.
Yes, we are.
Rock and roll.
Okay, and here we are into game 1 between Team Roccet Academy and VenomFive. We just touched on the runes just a little bit earlier on, but speaking about the Shyvana of going into that Dark Harvest, and yep, fully expecting that to be the sort of AP variable. Both teams looking like they're going to go standard 5-point, although Shyvana is going down to the bot side, so that top tri-brush is going to be uncovered, but it doesn't look like anything's going to be happening. As Impress is looking for a ward.
Missed. This bad news for VenomFive. They needed the early lead and they missed their first act.
They missed the first act, and Impress gets a ward onto the Raptor. Well, yeah, it hits the Raptor camp. They'll be able to know what.
It barely just sees it.
Yeah, if while our jungle diff decides to go and do his Raptors, like Team Roccet Academy will know about him and get that information. So interesting what happens here. As Impress did go back, get the sweeper, very traditional sort of jungle start nowadays, and going to be pathing topside. So they're going to be on opposite sides of the map.
It's interesting for Viego to start the blue buff, especially since he doesn't need it for mana regen or anything. But I believe it is because he wants to avoid the skirmish for the Scuttle Crab. He does not want to fight for the top Scuttle Crab. He's just happy giving it up for bottom and just going even.
Yeah, I think it's an okay thing to do, because you don't want to risk anything in the early game, especially what we just mentioned with especially what I mentioned earlier with the scaling matchup as well. I think it's going to be good just to try and sit back, relax. You want to chill out. You don't really want to cause too much drama for the first sort of 15 minutes of this game. As Power Fruit does get a land a hook onto Kaelin, Trap does not. That's not a trap. That's the wrong champion. But a lot of damage does come down onto Sunny, and a very good trade there by Soul Breeze and Power Fruit in the early stages.
That's actually interesting, since I thought that the Morgana Caitlyn lane was going to have the advantage, but that all changes when Power Fruit lands beautiful hooks like that.
Power Fruit flays away, but does hit the Morgana off the hook. Morgana's in a lot of trouble, does have exhaust, does have the flash up, and is not going to use it, and does not live with Ignite on Power Fruit. First blood over to Team Roccet Academy. So, it's Alex or Ale 2K holding onto the exhaust and holding onto the flash. Proves to be a fatal mistake with the ignite on Power Fruit.
However, it only did go on the Thresh, which is like still nice. It's first blood, so it's a huge little advantage that the bot lane has received now. But it didn't go the Aphelios, so it doesn't mean that he can run away with the game quite yet.
No, definitely, and with the lane now being pushed into Caitlyn Morgana as well, Caitlyn should be able to get most of this farm. And with this bot lane pressure as well, as long as the top lane pressure, so it's pretty much mirrored across the map right here, so Skullcrab should be able to be taken respectively between Walla Jungle Diff and Impress. Although Impress is in the bot side, but it looks like he's just going to come up and just go after Skullcrab. Papa Sexy is just going to be farming under his turret for now, and the game seems to have calmed down just for a little bit.
The Malphite is struggling though against the Mundo. The axes just chunk so hard, and Mundo doesn't have the problem of having mana either. He just chucks his axes, and I don't know, where do you think he keeps all those spare axes that he chucks?
It's got very, very large pockets. That's what I'm going to say.
I can see that.
You know what they say about big feet, big pockets.
Big pockets, definitely.
Exactly. And so, Impress did try to go invade into the bot side of the jungle. Didn't actually find anything because there has been a full clear done by Wallad Jungle Diff, and the Shyvana's now actually going to get the first recall and is going to be able to come back potentially for this Grump. So Impress is going to be slightly behind on the jungle clear, which shouldn't be too much of a problem. He's still got his top side clear, as Pub Sexy is going to go for engage and doesn't take the good trade on that, as there's a skanking attempt by Power Fruit, but the wave turned up. The wave turned up at the wrong time, and there's no hook or flay could be done there. So it's going to be a recall for Impress, and just
and another hook, but just such a beautiful black shield by Itzalek. Like the reactions, absolutely phenomenal.
Definitely. Well, he's stepping forward back here. It's going to be the route down. Power Fruit's now going to get another flay. There's the flash, and there's the exhaust. Alec 2 should be able to deal with this. The ignite is on.
Yes,
Solbreeze does have fresh.
Yes.
He doesn't need to flash in the end. He does get the spray, does get the kill onto its Alec 2K, and that is going to be another kill for the bot lane of Team Rocket Academy. 1-0-1 on the Aphelios, and the wave is now being pushed in again.
I think at this point in time, VenomFive is in big trouble. They were not able to get any priority with the set. They are losing the matchup that I believe that they should have been winning early with Caitlyn Morgana. I believe the only one that's doing really well is Tunkis on the Mundo in top lane with a little CS lead, but that is not going to be enough to snowball the early game.
No, exactly. No, you're completely right now. I think it's going to be a very big problem as Power nearly goes rogue. I don't think that Black Shield would have come out in time to stop that hook. So very lucky that missed. I think it's very lucky that missed right here. Shyvana is bot side.
Sneaky.
They're looking for an early dragon right here. With Aphelios and Thresh now backing, there should be a free dragon for Shyvana because there's no one to actually contest this right here.
Yeah,
very good timing.
Correct.
Although MB Steenton is coming down, he's going to be hovering around this.
Will he sniff it out? Can he smell it?
There's also Smite on the Shyvana. Steenton is probably going to try and have a go. Miss the rocket. Good attempt.
Definitely good attempt. I respect it.
Pap Sexy is in a lot of trouble in this lane. You mentioned earlier it's a very tough matchup, and he is really struggling in this matchup. He's down 15 CS. He's going to lose another chunk of this wave because he has to recall.
And Mundo does predominantly magic damage with the cleaver, with his W. I think his E does AD, but don't quote me on that. Actually, I can just click on him. Well, can't I? Aha! Yes, it does physical damage. So his E is the only thing that does physical damage. His Q and his W does magic damage. And I knew that off the top of my head. I'm very proud of myself today.
I'm proud of you. As Senpu is going to go for an engage. He looks like he wanted to try. No, he does get the ult off. Ignite's still holding. He's going to go for Ignite in the end. No, he isn't. He's still on the W belt. Doesn't miss the W. Flashes into Steenton. That's a solo kill for True Senpu with the flash and the Ignite with the W with the Haymaker.
I think he still missed the true damage component of his W, but it didn't matter. Like, he had already done so much damage, and yeah, the set coming into his own, like, that's exactly what he needs to be doing. He needs to be putting pressure on this Corki. He needs to be getting prio, and now, in fact, rather than going back, I think he should have invaded with Shyvana, like the entire bottom side of Team Rocket. You know, get an even bigger advantage, and then recall off that with much more tempo. But maybe the Shyvana just wasn't in position or wasn't feeling confident.
Yeah, definitely. There's a couple of factors definitely could have happened right there. As Shyvana does have the ultimate, is going to come down. It's a difficult position to gank here. Yeah, it's going to be recon. I think that position right there would have been difficult. The wave is on Roccet's side, but Shyvana is going to stick around.
I think if they over-aggress, Shyvana can do a beautiful counter like engage. However, the Viego is coming down there as well, looking, fishing, and the Shyvana has gone mid and looking for the Corki as well. That would be really good to be able to get another kill on the Corki.
Yeah, most certainly. And gonna go
Facemaker,
in.
stun.
Facemaker does hit.
And
Here comes Stinson.
Oh, nice
Stinson
flash.
does have to flash away.
Yep.
Flash by Power Fruit gets the play off. There's the ultimate. There's the hook. Once again, Power Fruit with another kill. He is performing very well on this Thresh, and another 2v2 kill in the bottom lane.
I think Power Fruit for MVP, like right now, at the moment, I think he's the top MVP candidate for this match.
Yeah, no, he's put on actually pretty
hook after hook after hook. He's been getting his bot line ahead. Honestly, like, it's unfortunate that he got 2 out of the 3 kills, but you know what? Our boy deserves it.
You say that though. Another hook does land, but I don't think much damage. A good chunk of it does come out, but it's not going to be anywhere near killing. You mentioned that Power Fruit is getting the majority of these kills right here. Soulbreeze is going to do a little bit of damage and just walk away. Viego is now behind the set. Set does ult back into his tower. Fantastic use actually of the showstopper to get back to his tower.
You can tell the blood of a set main flows through Senpu. I have escaped many a ganks just like that.
It's an engaged tool and a disengaged tool at the same time. It's fantastic.
Exactly. It's very versatile. So the Corki package it's such a powerful tool, but it's often wasted by a lot of Corki players. I really want to see what he's going to do. And as I say that, he jumps in.
Just jump in, and while our jungle diff is going to try and go forward. I don't think you can take that 1v1, and he does realise that in the end and just walk away. Interesting package there by NB Steenson, but he does have, of course, the reset on the smaller package, the smaller W, the Valkyrie. So does manage to get out and do a decent amount of damage to Shrine, who does have to recall.
I believe he didn't have much choice other than using the package like that. And another hook lands.
Another hook lands on Power Fruit. Another hook lands. Yeah, go on.
I can continue, okay. Because I think he initially wanted to use it to kill the set alongside Empress in mid lane, but the set was able to do the beautiful ultimate away towards his tower, so he just didn't have enough time to use it anywhere more efficiently, because it does have a timer once you are carrying it, a little bit like Herald. So I believe he must have been running out of time and just wanted to use it to get some damage down.
Yeah, definitely. It's also a really good wave clear use, right? So
exactly,
it can be used. It does hold just a lot of damage in general. So yeah, perfectly good use of it. And just to get out of it, as the second dragon is here, Rocket Academy have the priority so far. Corki is having a recall, but does have the teleport. As Papa Sexy is actually walking down from bot lane.
And another hook.
Is going to be hooked here by Soulbreeze, by Power Fruit, sorry, but does die eventually too. Eventually, it is Soulbreeze, and he gets the kill on Swallow Jungle Diff, and that is surely going to be the dragon for Team Rocket Academy.
Power Fruit absolutely channeling the power of FPX right now with his FPX Thresh skin.
Channeling his inner Crisp.
For sure.
Who is actually a phenomenal Thresh player. Very underrated Thresh player in my opinion, but that's for another conversation on another day. Power Fruit today is playing outstanding with all these hooks, and there's a flash by True Senpu.
I'm not sure why. What's the point of that?
Valkyrie gets him out, and he's gonna dive. He's gonna go under the turret here. Does get the kill.
Oh, he survives. Then it's worth. He lives, and another hook lands.
Another hook lands, but Power Fruit is gonna be really low here. It's Alec 2 is going through here. Heal comes through. There's a fight in the mid lane. Impress gets the kill on here.
So much action going on.
Sunny gets a kill. Soul Breeze is looking for 2 kills here. The ultimate point blank range from Caitlyn.
No
Soul
triumph
Breeze stays alive. No triumph. He still does. He doesn't live. He dies, and everybody's dying across the map. As we have a trial in the brush, but looking for Impress right now. Doesn't
Vola is going to have to flash here.
Is looking going back towards Mundo. That's a lot of damage from the Mundo. Mundo's angry. Mundo goes where he pleases. It's gonna be a kill for Walla Jungle Diff with the assist of the Dr. Mundo. Action absolutely everywhere, and it's not even over because Papa Sexy's going to be potentially caught out here.
I believe it's
Sunkiss
a bit
gets
late
another
for Papa
cleaver.
Sexy to be here now.
Steenson's right here. Soul Breeze is now here. Jungle Diff, Walla Jungle Diff is not going to get Jungle Diff right here. Papa Sexy's getting really low. Sunkiss tried his best to get the kill, but doesn't get there in the end. Soul Breeze.
No, Power Fruit.
It's Power Fruit. Why do I keep calling you Soul Breeze? That is not your name. You are Power Fruit.
Power Fruit. Why are you taking all the kills?
The 3-1-3 Thresh. He is absolutely everywhere. And
that
hopefully,
so unfortunate.
Hopefully we can now get a breather, because that was about 2.5 minutes of just absolute chaos going on right there. As everybody for Zero Academy is actually on this top side now looking for the Rift Herald. Do you want to try and break all that down?
Yeah, so I think it was really, really good of True Senpu to go for that all-in, even though I didn't like it initially, because he couldn't get a stun with the Phrase Breaker, but in the end he still managed to get the kill and survive, which I thought was super impressive. Like, I don't think I could have pulled that off. It just means that he knows the limits of his champion very well. And the team is bleeding, so him going for that all-in to be able to like break the flow of Team Rocket, I think is even more important than just the kill in itself. But while all that was happening, just the 2v2 in bot lane where everybody dies, and afterwards, Walla Jungle Diff and Tonkis killing the Viego, and then the Papa Sexy coming down afterwards, and then being bucked up by Power Fruit and Steenson. There's just so much action going on, and it's just really nice to see that the teams are being proactive, especially VenomFive. It's nice to see that they're not just turning over and dying. You know, like and like I said, I think it all started with True Senpu's all in, which kudos to him for trying to break the flow. And do we have any information about this wonderful little gray screen we have at the moment?
We had it's apparently some lagging from NB Steenson, so he's left the game for now, and probably just going to do that. You know, if it doesn't work, just take it out, plug it back in again. Normally works if you do that. Yeah, the classic, you know. But as we try to sort of look at this game right here, there is a 1,000 gold lead on the side of Team Rocket Academy, 9 kills to 5. First tower is still up for grabs as Sunny and it's Ali 2K. I think it's probably Alex, but I'm just going to call him that because that's just what I see as his IGN. And looking just at the gold, it's a 500 gold lead for Aphelios, for Soul Breeze, and it's also a 400 gold lead. We talk about that mid lane kill actually from True Senpu. He's actually still 400 gold behind on Corki.
Goodness, how did that happen? Was there a... so he's got 3 assists. He didn't start Cull or anything. They almost even on farm.
He did start Cull.
He did start Cull. Okay,
yes,
okay.
He did start Cull.
I absolutely missed that. my apologies.
I saw it and I was going to comment and just completely forgot.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my bad. I saw it and I was going to comment, and then... yeah, it just left my brain as
no
a lot
worries,
of things.
It happens.
A lot of things end up doing that, so it's not the first time. NB Steenson has reconnected, so hopefully we'll be able to get this game underway in due course.
So at the moment, who do you think is more poised to take the game?
Right here, I'd say it's definitely Rocket Academy. Not only because they actually have more scaling as well, but also I think they're just generally, especially in bot lane, like Power Fruit and Soul Breeze are just playing fantastically right now. And I'm not currently seeing anything from the Kaelin or the Morgana that would strike me saying that's going to be the main damage dealers of the game to really carry. So
My game's frozen at 1446.
It has for me as well. It might just be normal. Hopefully it'll be normal. Well,
okay. I think there's only one thing that concerns me a little bit is that the Aphelios went for the shield bow instead of the Kraken Slayer. I do believe that the Mundo could become a problem extremely late game, but we'll see how that plays out. A Lord Dominic's Regard could solve that problem too.
Yeah, absolutely, and there's now 2 more shield bows on the side of Team Rocket Academy, so that any burst potential that might be coming out from Shyvana is going to be negated ever so slightly. As another hook does go wide, as well as the binding. So, 50 minutes into the game, we're still in the laning phase here. In my opinion, that would suit Rocket Academy the most because they have the scaling. They're okay to keep the game. They're okay to keep the game going slowly. No need to rush anything. It's still 1 dragon to 1, so it's okay. They had to give it the first dragon to the Shyvana, as Solbreeze, MB Steenson, sorry. Hook is going to come through. It's going to be Flash. Does get the flare onto Sunny. Caitlin's very low, and that's going to be a kill. Solbreeze gets 1 kill. NB Steenson gets another kill. And that is 2 kills for the side of Team Rocket Academy. And there is now the Rift Herald that's going to be placed down by Impress to look for this first tower of the game.
I think it's like I said, like VenomFive needed to get a big lead early, and they've just failed to do that. Despite the Mundo being quite ahead, I think he's been bullying Papa Sexy like through the laning phase, and he's got a solid, I believe, 35 CS lead. But it doesn't matter. The rest of his team isn't scaling, so there's just not going to be enough damage to come from behind Mundo, and they'll be able to melt Mundo down with their hyper carries.
Yeah, definitely, and we're talking about that bullying that Tunkus was doing at the top lane. He is actually 1,300 gold up on his lane opponent, but Steenson's going to be not in too much trouble. Valkyrie does get him away, as Impress is coming just to cover, as Solbreeze have power free. Everyone's going mid lane. We are slowly going to be going into a round box of it, and most people are going to mid, but we do have Dragon coming up in 17 seconds. So looking for that mid priority first of all. Always important to try and go after this, and
getting vision everywhere for the Dragon. There's going to be the second dragon for Rocket Academy. They should be able to easily secure this.
I don't see we've got a TP coming from Mundo onto the blue buff, but this is going to get taken away very quickly. So I guess VenomFive are going to look for a fight. Hook does land onto Mundo. It's not very useful at all. Set does get the ultimate down onto Power Fruit. Fight's going on both fronts. Viego's in the backline looking for Caitlyn. If Viego's going to get exhausted, Solbreeze is still. Power Fruit is getting very late. Impress is very low. That's 2 kills. Solbreeze is by himself, does flash away eventually. And that is 2 kills for 0 for VenomFive. And even though they did lose out on the Dragon, they do get 2 kills in return.
It is really unfortunate that VenomFive hesitated. They needed to go before the Dragon went down. This is probably the least they're going to be behind in the game. So fighting for the Dragon, like having their damage like split up, and the enemies distracted would have been probably even better for them, rather than waiting till the Dragon goes down and then fighting. And in the skirmish, they could have possibly even secured the Drake. So again, really good job from VenomFive for winning the fight, but I think it's just a real shame that they hesitated just a tad too much.
Yeah, definitely, and especially with having champs like Set and Shyvana, they love the idea of teams being clumped up all together and actually being, in a choke point, which would be great. As Tunkus is going to go have a trade with the Malphite, as we expect. It's going to be a little bit of a noodle fight at the moment now that Malphite's got a little bit of resistance. Axe comes through. Power Fruit is in top lane. He's everywhere this game. I'm not sure really be surprised where he goes. We'd say Mundo goes where he pleases. Power Fruit goes where he pleases, it seems.
Power Fruit goes where he pleases too. Absolutely correct. And the fight between Malphite and Mundo is pretty noodly, as you say. However, the axe chunks so hard. It does max current health damage, and and it like when the opponent is at full health, it just does absurd damage from just a basic ability. 30% current health damage. That's what it does at max rank.
To be fair, if you got to throw an axe at you in real life, that would hurt. So
Definitely.
it does. It's probably one of the few abilities in the game that actually does make a lot of real life sense. So I can't complain too much. But then again, I'm also not playing against Dr. Mundo. I would definitely presume that Papasexy's not happy about getting chunked for that much HP with a, like you said, just a basic ability. So yeah,
As
Mundo
you can see,
is
the red buff gets chunked so hard. I believe 200 plus HP just from one axe. Just nasty ability.
It is a lot of damage. And look at the gold graph right now. We just spoke on the pause that there was a 1,000 gold in Roccet Academy. It's now dead even with VenomFive getting those 2 kills and getting the tower. Bot lane tower is also very low, but it looks like Senpu might be looking for a 1v1.
A little bit of cheese.
He knows where Gorky is.
I believe he used the face breaker a little bit too soon. If he had waited for the Valkyrie and tried to catch it, but maybe he doesn't believe that he has the reflexes to do it, so tried to predict it instead, which is a completely valid strategy. Like a boomer like me does that all the time.
I think there's a lot of people. I would do that, and that's because I don't play sets, so I wouldn't have thought of doing that, to be honest.
It's a little bit tight, the timing he would have to hit. Mundo's running in, and just the axe, just taking off Malphite's shield straight away.
Yeah, a good little invade right there to try and get onto the Raptor camp. Impress, stepping up just a little bit. You don't want to go too close to that Kane right here. Senpu, well, tanks a tower shot. Corki is going to be recalling, and I don't believe there is a package, but I could be wrong. There is a package available, and he's going to be TPing, so he does have package, and the TP is coming forward, looking for a fight. It looks like VenomFive know where they are. Sunny is going to go in. Good shield there by Italic 2K. Ceaseless Sketch could go down, Morgana goes down alongside it. A really huge Infinity Assault, and while Jungle Diff does go in, that's a lot of damage. A Gale Force forward by Caitlyn. And they're looking for a fight here. There's going to be it's going to be a flash from Shyvana. Ultimate comes out from Sunny looking for that headshot. So kill traded. Steenson looked like he got spotted out. Looks like he got spotted out on that, and VenomFive are looking for a Baron. I think
that's gonna be free. This is free. There's no vision on it. And I really dislike that Corki engage, actually. There was no need to force it. They are scaling. The longer the game goes on, the better it is for Roccet Academy. And as you pointed out, a wonderful black shield by Morgana to keep the Caitlyn safe. I think Morgana's black shields have been really nice, despite getting continuously hooked over and over. But I believe that's more to the kudos of Power Fruit than Morgana not being able to black shield, because obviously it does have a cooldown.
Yeah, definitely, and a hook does come out. It's going to hit on Sunny. That's a fantastic ultimate there by True Senpu. Gets onto 2 people. Papasexy getting down very low. Red buff is ticking. Does it going to kill? Yes, it does get killed in the end by Walla Jungle Diff. That's going to be 2 kills there for VenomFive. Power Fruit is getting really low, and Mundo is going to run him down eventually. Looks like it. There he goes. The killing spree for Tunkiss, as the Ocean Dragon is now down to half HP. Impressed is still there. Looks like VenomFive know where he is. They're not going to pull out the dragon. Looks like they were attempting it, but Sunny is going to just tag him a little bit. Impress maybe looking for a steal, knowing
Sunny asserting dominance on the Viego.
He's going to go for it, and he misses. Well, he did really get the smite down there eventually. He tried to go for the R to get in, but doesn't get in the end, and that's an Ocean Dragon plus 3 kills in total over to VenomFive, and the gold lead is now essentially 4,000 for VenomFive.
So this is how I predicted in my mind that the game was going to look at the early stages of the game. However, this is how it's looking in the late stages of the game. So maybe my precognition's a bit off. It's in reverse today. But again, this is okay for Roccet Academy, because being behind was never a problem for them. They can still win this game from behind as they are scaling. But it's really nice to see that VenomFive pulled their act together and are able to win some team fights, as they should have been able to win fights with their superior early game team composition.
Yes, definitely, and I think what's really good to see from VenomFive is I think they must have understood that they don't have much of a scaling against the Viego, the Corki, and the Aphelios, and actually thought we need to get the game accelerated. We need to start actually pressuring the Rocket Academy team, and actually trying to utilize the early game the early to mid game power that they would accumulate. Alex UK does get a back shield after another hook by Power Fruit. It doesn't look like anything's happened as the pink ward does actually get replaced. Senpu is just doing his hair, standing at a rock, but he's going to come eventually go back into mid. And he was nearly kind of by himself, but doesn't really find any trouble after that. Next, no real objective on the map so far. Baron buff is still active, but there's no real proactiveness from VenomFive to actually use that Baron buff.
I believe the player to watch this game, definitely, other than Power Fruit, of course, on the side of VenomFive, is Senpu. I believe he has really made some outstanding plays, really able to... The blue buff stolen away by Shyvana, sorry. I hate to see that. But Senpu, I believe the game... VenomFive, if they are going to win, it is going to be on the back of one of Senpu's engages.
Yeah, definitely right here. It being that main engage as well. The original showstopper that he actually put into that last fight near the Ocean Dragon was sublime because he managed to hit, I think, 3 people with the. I think he took the Malphite and hit 3 people or 4 people alongside it. And Papsexy is going to go in. The Black Shield is a little bit late, but Sunny is going to be really safe right here. And that's going to be a kill onto the Papa Sexy as the Impress is now going to be really low. Power Fruit just go in, and that's a lot of damage going from Senpu onto Soul Breeze. Soul Breeze is going to go down. Power Fruit is also going to be half HP. It's going to stay under his turret as a teleport is going to come through from Sunkiss. Now Power Fruit is going to get really low. He's going to go down eventually. It's going to go over to the Morgana as the Doctor Mundo is going to try and hit, and that's the Haymaker coming through from
it's over,
Senpu, and it does look like it's going to be over. There is a minion wave. There's going to be 2 dead for these 10 seconds, but Steenson and Power Fruit is going to be down for 34 and 15 respectively, and they're going to be looking for at least inhibitor. Will they go for the end? I think they could do, but they are not even going to go for the inhibitor. I think that might be a mistake not even go for the inhibitor. It does look like they're actually going to back off. I think they could have gone for the inhibitor.
I think they could, I think not going for the inhibitor there is okay, because again, the Rocket 5 is the scaling comp, and they would have a constant stream of super minions to farm, and there's no real objective on the map that they could leverage with the inhibitor either. When is the dragon spawning?
The dragon's going to be in 1 minute.
Yeah, the dragon. So I believe it's someone on the team made the macro decision not to take the inhibitor, and I think it's an acceptable choice since there's no big objective, and they thought they weren't strong enough to finish. But again, it can be argued either way. I'm not saying it was 100% the right decision, but I can see the merits in the decision not to take this inhibitor right now.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're alongside that point as well. I think it was... I can touch that point in just a second. Morgana is not going to get taken away. That was a suspicious amount of damage went down Soul Breeze just from a binding from Morgana.
200 years back.
This is going to happen. The Zhonya's has a great ability power scaling. Apparently. So I was going to say, but with the inhibitor going down, I think it was LS who touched on this. Yeah, LS fanboy, look at me. He actually touched on it, said that with the inhibitor down and having super minions, it does equivalent to about 2,000 gold. Anyway, there's going to be a hook onto Senpu. He's going to get another
wonderful ultimate.
A 4-man ultimate right there. Senpu, he's not going to get down the Haymaker, so that's going to be 2 dead. That's 3 dead on the side of VenomFive. Impress is right. Impress is going down. That's double kill right there for Aphelios, and that's going to be another kill. It's a
red and white guns. They did so much damage.
He did a lot of damage, and Senpu just could not get down the Haymaker in time and do any sort of true damage. He goes down really quickly. Sunny goes down really quickly. Shyvana could not get the ultimate off in the first place, and that is an ace on the side of Team Rocket Academy after a tremendous team fight. After it didn't look very good for the side of them to start with, but they got away with it so well, and that's just a fantastic team fight response as they do go onto the Baron, and it's going to be a free Baron.
Yeah, there's no way they can contest that. Absolutely no way. And it was just so unfortunate for VenomFive, I believe. I believe they have the right idea, but not keeping track of Aphelios' guns is a real problem. And then the Corki, just with his AoE damage, with his sulfur bomb and his rockets, just laying into VenomFive, just like going into a straight line. I think there's just a little bit of lack of damage from the team of VenomFive because like you said, the engage from True Sample was phenomenal. He got a 3-man ultimate and he got a full power Haymaker as well. But I believe just like Sunny is not able to output enough damage. I think that's the real problem over here.
Yeah, I think it definitely contributes to that as well. And I think alongside that, I think it's really important for Shivana in these fights to get into the dragon form and actually start trying to
blast away.
Blast away, fire the flames. I don't know what the ability's called because I've not seen Shivana in a very long time. Flame breath, I think it's called. There we go. Actually try and utilize that in dragon form because it does a lot of damage in dragon form, especially when you get to these Zyme stages. Especially with Dark Harvest stacks. She's currently on 8 Dark Harvest stacks.
That's not that many.
I don't know. I don't play Shivana. I don't play any Dark Harvest.
I believe 8 Dark Harvest stacks by 30 minutes is very, very mediocre.
Sorry, because Steenson is going on to the Mundo.
Mundo goes very pleases.
Power Fruit is going very deep onto this. There's going to be 5 people in there. Shivana does get into Rocket Form, but Haymaker does come down. Aphelios only hits onto the Mundo. ADC. Jungle Diff does actually kill Impress in the end. Mundo's now getting quite low. A two-man ultimate by Papa Sexy and a double kill for Soul Breeze. It's a 2 for 2 so far. As well as Jungle Diff does not manage to cannot gain much damage onto the Papa Sexy to kill him, and it's going to be a 2. I'll apologise. I think that was just a 2 for 1 for the side of Team Rocket Academy.
I believe so, yeah. While Jungle Diff managed to get them so low, but unable to finish them. Again, one could be because of the lack of Dark Harvest stacks, but another big reason is the Caitlyn wasn't there.
Yes.
It was such an unfortunate team fight. If Caitlyn had been there and been able to put out some damage, I believe this fight could have gone so much better for VenomFive. And just a little bit of miscommunication of lane assignments and where they want to be. But then again, it was a bit of a random fight because there was no real objective there. Like everyone just decided to want to be in the top river at that point, and Power Fruit hooked the Mundo. He wanted to go on a little adventure. Went all the way from top river, past the tri-bush.
I think he invaded someone else's game with how far he travelled.
He wanted to cosplay a little bit of Bard, you know?
Imagine, except for Magical Journey went through the 2 different worlds rather than just one.
Oh, did you see that damage on Alec?
That's a lot of damage. Corki does have 4 items right now. I would say at this point he has scaled.
Indeed, I would agree with that.
And he's going to be doing a lot of damage at this point. Trap's coming out for Caitlyn to try and defend, but this is gone. You can.
The traps are really nice, but honestly, I believe Caitlyn's been not performing very well this game. I've not seen anything from Sunny that's really like stood out in my mind, and I think it is contributing to the lack of damage from the side of VenomFive. Maybe Caitlyn isn't the choice that Sunny should go in the next game. Maybe someone who scales better or has more agency in lane.
You say more agency in lane, but this is still a Caitlyn Morgana. I don't think you can get much more agency as a duo.
I know what you mean, but the thing about Caitlyn is that despite her being an infamous lane bully and very strong in lane, if you are not a good Caitlyn or you're not very comfortable on the champion, you can't get the most out of her. Do you know what I mean?
It's going to be. Sorry, I have to say right there. As it's going to be a ultimate buy. As Steenson now, the package is fantastic. It's going across the entire team. It's Alex 2 is getting really low. Caitlyn's dead already. Dr. Manu is dead. Soulbreeze is so close to dying, but he's not going to die just in time. And it's going to be a quadra kill for NB Steenson, and that's going to be the Ocean Soul Dragon for Team Rocket Academy.
The death timers are pretty huge. I believe if they just run down mid right now, they could end.
There's going to be 25 seconds is the lowest, and that's on the Morgana. 26 on Shyvana.
No, my timing's a bit off.
I think they can still push for at least the inhibitor because they've got
Definitely.
red. We've got the white gun anyway from.
Red white.
It's got the red white guns from the
Red white don't fight.
The white one's definitely the better one to at least like take down these though. I think they're just going to go for inhibitor. Are they going to go for more? I don't think they should, and they will not. Baron is going to be in 30 seconds time, and we touched on it earlier. You definitely touched on it earlier as well, saying about this Caitlyn. There just isn't a lot of damage compared to the Corki, for example, where we all know that Corki is a lot more of a hyper carry, admittedly. But the Aphelios is also doing a lot of damage as well. And you just feel like Caitlyn isn't really able to do much.
And they weren't able to get the advantage with the Caitlyn Morgana lane, which was really unfortunate. They need to get that advantage to help secure more dragons. But the Dragon Soul's already gone to Team Roccet, the Roccet Academy. So
I do want to touch on that laning phase and say that as much as I think Sunny and its ally 2K could have done more, I do want to put a lot of praise onto Powerfruit, as Impress is going to be looking for something does actually, and Sunny actually Gale forces forward into melee range. That was brave.
See, this is what I mean. I don't think Sunny is very comfortable on the Caitlyn. As soon as the Morgana queues, he needs to put down the trap. That's just how that synergy works. And I've just not seen him. Holy moly! Sorry to interrupt myself, but holy moly! Did you see that?
Corki kind of goes burr at this point.
Yes, he does.
Corki's kind of going burr at this point, and has even completed the Void Staff, of course, because the magic gets the magic pen as well. So
definitely,
this Corki's going to hurt quite a lot, and I just can't see if they've really got much.
It's over.
Morgana's gone from the map.
It's over. I'm gonna sing.
Flash hook coming through by Soulbreeze, looking for a jungle diff, and he gets annihilated. Tunkers is there. He's not really that tanky, is he? He's Dr. Mundo, not up against Steenson and Soulbreeze, as it looks like Roccet Academy are going to be going towards Baron, but you can just go through mid. You can just go through mid, and
I agree. 100% agree with you. At this point, you don't even need the Baron. There's only two members. True Senpu, who's just tanky and has a lot of CC. He doesn't do any real damage. Also, the Caitlyn's not been putting out that much damage. You can just go mid, finish the game, and go next here.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely agree with that. They could have definitely ended, but I don't think there's any point now. There's no way that VenomFive can really come back from this deficit, because there's no burst damage. There's no burst damage, and there's no they cannot assassinate either the Corki or the Aphelios. So it's extremely difficult. But I think there's got to be a lot of praise for Roccet Academy to actually come back.
Yeah.
They were 5k down about just over 20 minutes, and they gave up the Baron buff. And to actually turn that around and actually take a 5k gold lead themselves, well, going to 6k now, and actually come back in. No,
I apologize. No, I think it's also like we also need to give some praise to V5, because they had a horrible start. I believe they were down like 4-1 or something, and I think it was like 7-2 or 7-3, and they managed to change gears and really pull back from that deficit. Like, despite being hammered in the early game, they took agency. They tried their best. They didn't just lay over and die, And I am really impressed with both teams so far.
Yeah, definitely. It's been, I'd say, up until sort of that 30-minute mark. It was kind of, or about the 32-minute mark, really. It was kind of going back and forth. But we get to this stage in the game. We commented about the scaling. I wouldn't say much about the scaling from the Viego. Oh, that is just a lot of damage. I wouldn't say much about the scaling of Viego. It's just really been the scaling of the Corki. And NB Scenes, along with Soulbreeze on this fail as well, both just doing an absolute crap ton of damage right here.
Indeed.
As it looks like it's going to be it looks like going for a victory push right here, as Sunny was in top trying to push.
Ah yes, and 2 auto attacks, and Mundo is almost half health. Wonderful.
Yeah, that's about right. That's about right. And looks like it's going to be push here. Got Superman in mid lane. Steenson is going to use the package to clear the wave by the looks of it, which is absolutely fine. That's absolutely understandable. That's one turret down, and that's so much damage. Sunny's nearly dead just from a rocket. And while a Jungle Diff does go into ultimate form, try to use the Flame Breath as much as possible. Strawberries did go to half HP because of that. And VenomFive looking like they can trying to do everything it possibly can, but the second Nexus turret does go down in the end. Impress is down to half HP, and it looks like they're slowly trying to back away off this. And it's going to be an engagement by True Senpu. And that's fantastic Haymaker. Gets rid of the Viego, but there's no follow-up out there whatsoever.
That's very unfortunate.
Mundo trying to go forward here, does get a thresh, Malphite ultimate comes down. It's looking like a decent fight, and it's not a decent fight in the end because the Nexus does go down, and it's going to be one game won by Roccet Academy to go 1-0 up. What a game!
Indeed, what a game. And if I was the coach for VenomFive, I know what I would be doing in the first ban phase. That would be banning out this Thresh. Power Fruit looking too clean on it.
Yes, absolutely. And I think it's much more about not even more just about the Thresh with how much of the laning phase presence that he had. But also, like, I was trying to keep an eye on the vision score as much as possible, and his vision score was absolutely incredible. Even from like 10
100.
It was over 100, but I think even by like the 15-minute mark, it was at least 40, which was insane for it's insane for support play. So huge sound there for Power Fruit and how well he played on there. But of course, you have to go kind of into the carries, and NB Steenson just doing Steenson and Solbury just both press out and someone dies. And if you actually look at the damage graph, 61k damage for Corki in a 39-minute game. That's about right.
Yeah, the thing is that for a Corki, it's not that uncommon for having absurd damage once he reaches his. He had 6 items, I believe. Like, if he doesn't do that much damage, then he's not playing Corki, right? Because you are sacrificing your early game for this late game power. So it is the trade-off, and it paid off since the game did go on for almost 40 minutes. Goodness gracious.
Absolutely. Right, we're going to take a small break right here and wait for Game 2 to be set up. Don't go anywhere. We will be back in just a few minutes.
See you soon.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much for waiting. We are going to be going into game number 2 in just a short amount of time between VenomFive and Team Roccet Academy. Team Roccet Academy are currently 1-0 up after a fairly back and forth game number 1, but the scaling from the Corki and the Aphelios just proved a bit too much for VenomFive in the end. What would you say, Ace, would be a good drafting plan for game number 2?
I think I want to see Steenson on a carry. Like, I believe like he played so well last game on that set, but set isn't the carry, isn't it? Like, he's more of a engaged bruiser. So I would really like to see him on something that can maybe carry VenomFive a little bit harder, or maybe something that scales a little better than the set.
Yeah, no, definitely. I definitely agree with that. What is quite interesting right here, take a look at the champion pools of both teams. So one of our jungle diffs most played in ranked is Viego as well as Nocturne. And Nocturne's just been banned. So if Viego is left open, that'd be interesting, but also Senna could be open as well. So one or two of these champions are going to be left open. It do end up banning the Viego, so putting a bit more attention onto Walla jungle diff. Corki being banned, I think, is a great ban. I think he just absolutely hard carried that last game.
I agree that he hard carried, but I don't think Corki was the problem. The Corki carried because the game went to 40 minutes. And I'd like to correct myself. I didn't mean Steenson, I meant Senpu. I got the names a little mixed up, so I would like to see Senpu on a carry. Yeah, but I think a big problem was that I'm losing my train of thought. Apologies.
So good.
They drafted winning lanes with a Shyvana jungle who doesn't really have agency. Like, she wants to farm up, she wants to like do dragons, like she doesn't really have gank support. Whereas the Xin Zhao here does have a lot of gank support. He goes in, he does a lot of damage, he knocks up. So I think that would have been a far better pairing with the set as well. He goes in, knocks up, set goes in, face breakers, stuns, bish bash posh, Bob's your uncle. Yeah.
No, definitely. I agree. When the first game when they did Hover, I thought that would be a good pick. But just come back onto this game, especially the Senna has been picked up. An early mouth fight again, going over to Papa Sexy. I wonder if they can actually look into banning the Mundo, because it did seem to be creating a lot of problems in that top lane. But what is actually drawing my mind right here is they did pick up the Senna with the Alistair, so this would mean there's going to be a farming Senna. What's your opinion on farming versus fasting?
By what I've heard, and what I've read, I've heard that that fasting is far superior, but I don't know the exact numbers. So I think either is fine, but against a melee support, I think fasting is just better because you're able to proc your abilities far easier. So we're just going to have to see. I'm not too well versed on that, unfortunately. Sorry, Ma.
That's right. No, I think the point you bring up is still like something I do definitely agree with the like fasting is in my opinion is definitely like superior. I think with soul wise, it becomes, I think, around about 20% chance of gaining a soul for a minion you do not kill. And I think it goes down to, I want to say 13. I don't know why I want to say 13. Oh, but could be wrong. 13 is going to be my guess.
Significant lower chance.
Yes, exactly. So the point was being
say it like that.
Definitely, yeah. The point, the point being is that it's definitely like a lot lower. But when you're in, and especially when you're in a melee lane as well, when you hit the champion, you take this off them, you get permanently, right? Gonna be Katarina against 3 tanks. Can be a bit of a difficult issue, but it is the true Senpu's most played champion in rank. So this is definitely
Senpu. I said I want to see you on a carry champion. You pick Katarina. Don't let me down, my friend.
It's going to be a pump. This is a very I think the word to describe this is aggression.
And I think aggression's the correct term, definitely. But I like to say agency. I believe this is a team with very high agency, and I think this is more of the kind of jungler they should have gone for. Jungle top duo or jungle mid duo they should have gone for is the Pantheon Xin Zhao, the Xin Zhao set. I think I said it quite early, like even like before the game started. I said like the Shyvana doesn't feel like she belongs. One of these champions is not like the others.
Yeah, no, definitely. And one thing I do like about the Xin Zhao alongside the Pantheon, it's very, very early aggression, but it does scale really well to mid lane if they can get ahead. And Xin Zhao with Pantheon has a point click stun, so it should be fairly easy for Xin Zhao to get on top of a target if Pantheon gets the stun off, and that could be said for the bot lane as well. It's a little bit more difficult to CC a Ziggs if he does keep his satchel charge for sort of the disengage option, or at least like hitting away and out if he keeps walking forward. But any form of RCC that can be initiated, Xin Zhao can definitely follow up on that really quickly. And Xin Zhao has fantastic 1v1 potential. So
He does, indeed.
in my opinion, I think this is a much better jungle pick than, well, definitely than the Shyvana was anyway.
And I think the bot lane for VenomFive, like this game, I like it far more. The Senna is always useful. Like she scales extremely hard into late game. It's a champion that Sunny plays a lot more. Like looking at his stats, and if they're just left alone and they're able to farm, I think the focus should really be on Papa Sexy, because I don't know if they have a coach, but if they have a coach, I think the coach would have realized that Papa Sexy was the weak link in the chain last game. So I believe if Vola Jungle Diff can take advantage of that and get Tunkus ahead, who played very well on the Mundo, actually. I think he got a massive lead, like by himself pretty much, and was able to do a lot of damage, force the Malphite out of lane several times. If he can get Tunkus a big lead, he can start roaming all over the map with his ultimate and get True Senpu possibly a lead, and then all three of them can go to bot lane, and then get Sunny and Alec a lead as well. I think that would be how I would want to play this composition.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a good point of being with that, and alongside just having that early snowballing potential from the side of VenomFive. Looking at Team Rocket Academy's comp once again, it has more scaling, so it's kind of going for the same idea as it was in the first game. I think with Team Rocket Academy saying we're okay giving up just a little bit. We're okay giving up a little bit because we know we're going to be scaling up in the late game, and that's probably one weakness I would say that VenomFive have, is that their late game potential. Yes, they have a center which does have infinite scaling, and Carrier does have burst potential. However, Xin Zhao and Pantheon will eventually fall off. So they are going to be kind of relying on Sunny Sunny and True Senpu for that sort of late game damage, and especially if Sunny falls behind again, like he did in the last game, as a result of Power Fruit and Sobeys playing a fantastic 2v2, then it does put a ton of pressure to VenomFive to actually get mid ahead, get jungle ahead, get top ahead very quickly, and actually try and snowball the game as quickly as possible if they know that their late game assurance is not going to be possible.
I see what you mean. There is just, however, one problem with Rocket Academy's composition. Where is the AD damage coming from? From the Akali? A little bit, I guess. Trundle, but does Trundle really want to build damage? I think he. What does Trundle build nowadays? I think I'm a little bit out of touch with Trundle.
It's still traditionally like fairly tanky.
Hmm.
It's still fairly tanky build that Trundle does. I don't think there's a ton of AD damage that really comes out from a Trundle these days.
So a little bit of magic resistance stacking from the team of VenomFive could go a long way.
Yeah, definitely. I think one item that you can definitely go is definitely the Divine Sunderer as well. But I would say that Divine Sunderer into basically like off tank, pretty much tank build is definitely the way forward. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this game really develops and actually what happens. Looking at runes, it kind of annoys me. I don't know how you feel about this. What's your opinion on Malphite actually going for Arcane Comet?
I think it is completely overtuned. That's why it's so viable. Arcane Comet with Corrupting Potion, with Scorch, it's so disgusting. I think